各位 iJournal 视频号的观众，大家好！今天我们非常高兴地来到了德威的浦西校区，在他们的图书馆，我们将会和两位大学生导的专家，一位是 Gavin， 一位是 Louis， 展开一场有趣的对话。Parent has this misconception. As a British-style school, Dulwich excels at supporting applications to UK universities. For those targeting top US universities, might American-style school be a better fit? What's your thought on this?
We've successfully sent a lot of students to some prestigious American universities. Last year, we've supported our cello player, which is a very professional player, going to Stanford. We've got a couple athletic players going to Dartmouth. Just this year, we had a student who got full scholarship to the music school of Berkeley.
At DCB also, we've had a number of students who've been very successful at US universities. Last year, we had 6 students accepted at Ivy League schools.
6 students out of how many students?
Out of 70, I think 72 last year.
Wow, that's amazing actually.
Yeah, we had one student who was accepted at multiple Ivy League schools. She ended up going to Duke because that was her dream school. Something we've seen across the group, and I'm sure you're seeing it, is that students are applying globally. So we have students who are applying to not only the US and the UK, but to Canada, to Hong Kong, to places, schools in Europe, Singapore. We have a large number of Korean students as well who will go to Korea. We have a specialist that works with our Korean students just on their Korean applications. Admissions officers read thousands of applications, and they become very familiar with how students that age write. Even the brightest, most accomplished 17-year-old still writes like a 17-year-old. So when they come across those, it kind of raises red flags with them. It's a bit of intuition that you gain from reading a large number of essays. That's why we always encourage our students to write their essays themselves. Don't outsource that. An authentic essay comes from a student, actually has more resonance than something that was written by an agent or, these days AI, ChatGPT.
So how many articles or essays indeed you read in a day?
It varied, depending on my schedule. 10 to sometimes I would read, 20 or 30. I think that is something else to keep in mind, is that sometimes our students they've done a lot and they have a lot to say, but I say it's very important that you have one message that you communicate through your essay that you want the reader to know.
If you read some essay, he is way overqualified, like he's super excellent. Well, you think this people is like overqualified for UCL, I put it aside.
No, I don't think that would happen at all. If I ran across a student like that as an external reader, I would say, this is a great student, and then pass it on to them.
You don't consider like a yield rate or anything like that?
No, we don't, yeah.
You just this is excellent, this is good, great student.
Yes. I just look at it and say, this is a great kid. We should consider him, right, or her, right?
如果是一个孩子拿到一个巨星，后期还会有机会翻盘吗？
If they're not admitting the student, that's a final decision. The process that they've gone through to arrive at that decision. It's not one that's made hastily or arbitrarily. And it's not only one person reading the application and making the decision. That usually goes to a committee. If they've chosen not to admit that student, it's generally they have a very solid set of reasons. One thing about the US is the decision-making criteria are very specific to that school, right, and that particular year. So, it's not just grades, it's not just activities, it's not just nationality or anything like that. It's just they're looking at that entire class and they're trying to build a class.
If a student is on waitlist or deferred, what will you support the students to do?
If a student got deferred or waitlisted, we would look at what the student has been doing since when the application has been submitted to now, and then we would update the admissions team to let them know what the student has been doing, to let them know that this is really what they're interested in. They are really still into that university. Each student is different, really. We've supported students going to top US universities who got deferred and then got admitted in the end of March. There is still possibility for cases like that.
Sometimes the waitlist process can take several weeks, so it's important to be patient.
So could you please provide some advice for next cohort of applicants?
Start early, prepare, develop a balanced list of universities of applications. Make sure you work with your counselor, preparing yourself in the best way possible.
We try to connect our students with the actual person who's reading their application. So if our student is interested in a type of university, we try to invite the university admissions officer who are reading the Southeast Asia region to come to our school and talk to the students and parents. And from there, they get to see if they would be a good fit for the university. Before they submitted applications, we have invited a lot already, Boston University, NYU, Tufts, you name it. We also have our parent UCC lessons and UCC meetings. We do parent workshops so that parents are also well geared with the knowledge that they have to support their children in the application process.
What things can they do to impress them? Or at least remember me, like I'm here.
That's a very good question, actually. We would encourage them to do research, and before they go to those workshops, especially for year 12 students, the graduating students next cohort, they will come to my office before they go to those workshops workshop, and they'll build specific questions to ask the admissions officers. So for example, this year I had a student who was really into operative algebra. That was the Vendy kid. He found that they actually have a very specific maths club doing research on that. And so he brought specific questions to the workshop to ask the admissions officer. When I was emailing the admissions officer, she actually remembers him. A lot of similar cases like that have happened across the group. It's not just on my campus. We also do a US tour, bringing our students and parents to those universities to see our current Dulwich students who are studying there. And also they get to meet admissions officers. They get to talk to the professors. A very tailored university tour to help parents and students to know the universities so that they can choose accordingly.
I see. When does those tour happen?
That is usually in term 3. This year it's happening in June, but each year it's a bit different. It depends on the universities we're going to visit because we want to maximize the resources we have.
That's great. OK， 我还是非常荣幸啊，真的是2位大专家。从我们刚才简短的访谈当中，大家也可以感觉得到我自己的最切身的一个体会。德威学校啊，它不是一个个的单个学校，他们是举全球之力在托举每个学生，是他们非常非常有优势的地方。另外一点就是他们真的是在帮每个孩子找到自己的最佳出路，甚至韩国他们还会专门派韩国的 counselor 来帮助他们。这些我觉得是今天非常好的记忆点啊，也希望大家从我们这期的访谈中有所收获。谢谢 ，Thank you。